The Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is DonivanG, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanG, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at TheBambooproject. We have over 500 videos on our channel. Do you want to see our real estate journey? We got that. Do you want to see our cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Do you want to see our travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Hair and makeup tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. Candles? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that do not make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanG, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. We made different playlists for everything that we are into, and you can find all of those playlists in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 144. All audio and video timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Wednesday, December 21st, and it's 11:44 a.m. All right. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably knew. Okay. Some of y'all, shout out to everybody who's been here for a minute. We start off with Screentime. And for all my newbies, Screentime is when I check my phone and I let y'all know how much time I spent on my phone last week. Okay. The main reason why I really want to do it, other than obviously checking it, is I want to see how much my screen time changes depending on how much my actual life changes. So when I'm like rich, like in my phone time going to be drastically different. Because wouldn't it be crazy if I'm worth $10 billion and my screen time is still 12 hours a day? That would just put the whole screen time thing in the garbage. Like, yo, don't even care about your screen time. You still could be a billionaire. Don't even worry about screen time. Don't worry about it. Okay, so last week, every day, I spent an average of 8 hours and 7 minutes on my phone. Let's go. Let's go. That's down from the week before, which was 11 and a half hours. That's down almost 3 hours. Now, what could be the change for that? Maybe it's less vlogs? We're going to find out right now. We're going to find out. All right. So YouTube was 15 hours and 7 minutes. Instagram was 9 hours and 48 minutes. Mind you, this is for the whole entire week. And then Safari was 7 hours and 5 minutes. So last week, I spent more time on Instagram last week. I spent an extra 4 hours on Instagram. And my camera time was at 9 hours last week. So that's why it was so high. Now let's see the categories. So for social, I was on my social app, which is Instagram, Twitter, Discord. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. 19 hours and 3 minutes. Okay. Entertainment, YouTube, backstage casting. That sounds like some sexual. Then we got entertainment, which is YouTube for 15 hours and 7 minutes. And then productivity and finance, which is Mail, Square, Notes, Google Sheets for 10 and a half hours. I picked up my phone on average, it's kind of high, 152 times a day. That's crazy. Why is it so? That's insane. And my first used app after pickup was YouTube. Okay, beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend. What was your screen time?
So last week, my screen time is up 51%.
Whew.
At 9 hours.
Woo!
Sleep with my phone on.
Listen, man. Listen.
You want to know how I know?
Here we go with the.
My most used app is settings.
Maybe you was trying to find something in your settings.
4 hours. My phone was on setting.
Listen. The phone never lie, Melissa.
Right.
The phone never lie.
So I fell asleep with the phone on.
That's what they want you to think.
Instagram for 7.5 hours. After that is Cooking Diary, this game I like to play for 6 hours and 53 minutes. And I play that on the train when we go to work every day. And then after that is TikTok for 4.5 hours. I picked up my phone 161 times. Messages was my first used after pickup, and then Gmail.
Okay. All right, and then subscriber check. We are at 6,238 subscribers, and I think it's interesting now that we stopped posting. Subscribers are starting to go up. We were not getting subscribers for like 3 months now. Like, when I say not getting subscribers, I mean at one point we were doing almost 20 a day to sometimes 30, 40 a day, and then we were doing the last 5-6 weeks, maybe even more, like 2 or 3 a day, which is ridiculous. Like, that's insane. So now it seems like we're getting closer to like that 7 to 11 range, which is better than we were doing the last. We were at a point, I think there was a day where we got 0. There was like more than one day where we had 0 subscribers. Let's see. So the last, we had 6. Then we have another 6. Then we have a 7. Yeah, like I said, YouTube is obviously, I don't know. It's not my business no more. But I'm in a good mood today. And I think, because of you, it might be. I might need to get some Nutella every
Sir.
I need Nutella. It's good. Nutella is good. Nutella is one of the best snacks out there. Trust me, guys. It is. But I had read or saw a tweet recently that said, it was from a guy named Huberman. I forgot his first name. He frequents the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said that your mood when you wake up is almost directly affected by how much sunlight you got 2 days before that day you went to sleep. Right? And I'm like, that's very strange. I never thought about that, but that was definitely the day we went outside and it was like warm and sunny outside.
The first day.
Right, that was like 2 days ago. So I thought that was.
Aside from that, it's just been rain and gloomy. Yeah.
Right, so that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting to me. But I am definitely in a really good mood, and I want to start off this podcast with the house update. Okay, right now this is one of the bigger things that we are trying to get situated, and I know a lot of you guys rent property and not a lot of you guys have property and things like that, so I want your opinion on this. This will come out on Sunday, and if you're in a Discord, then I'm going to send it in there, but before then. But here is what is happening over the next week or so. I set up a meeting with, shout out to my guy Tori, and the people who also lent us money to purchase the house and renovate the house. And I wanted to set up a meeting because things are getting kind of, what word would I use for that? Let's call it hairy. Things are getting kind of hairy, right? So the situation is this. The lender was saying that they do not, or they were alluding to the fact that they would not renew their 3-month extension in January. So at that point, it's like, okay, what are the other options and alternatives that we can go to so that we don't lose the house? Because if they don't extend the loan and we don't sell the house in that time period, then they're going to foreclose on it. So, and at that point, everything was a waste for the last 2 years, except for the candles. The candles came from it, so technically that's not a waste, but the money and everything else would be a waste. So me, Melissa, Tori, some family have been trying to talk and just trying to figure out, not like all together, but we've been talking to them and trying to figure out what are some opportunities and ways that we can avoid the situation from happening. So I don't know if I talked about this last week, right? But we got our first rental application. I feel like I might have been in the podcast. Now, she seems to be a very risky renter, okay? And because of the scenario that we're in, I kind of I think she's risky. Everybody I've talked to pretty much thinks she's also risky. But some people have said, well, listen, you got to do something. So it's like, hey, and I figure, right, worst case scenario will be this. She doesn't pay rent, right? And then at that point, we have to pay the same amount we're paying right now every single month. But we have a tenant in there who could possibly mess up the house, who could possibly need things fixed that we have to go out there and pay for or deal with, right? Yeah, so, and destroying the house and not paying rent. The problem with her messing up the house, we don't have the money to fix it once she would leave. So the house would just stay that way. And then we would be in a worse scenario then than we are now, because we couldn't even sell the house at that point. At least if we did, it would be at a very, very low number, which is probably lower than, honestly, it might not even be that low. It might be what I want to fire sale the house for now. So the house right now is listed at $250. We would probably sell it, if she messed it up and didn't fix it, for probably $180 to $200, something like that. So it doesn't seem like a bad scenario from those cons. Actually, I did make a pro and cons list. Okay, so right now here are the downsides or the risk. She doesn't pay rent. We have to pay $1,600 a month. We can't evict her for a very, very long time because of the scenario we're in. And wouldn't that be very ironic? I know y'all would find that hilarious. Y'all would be like, "Oh God, how do you guys like it?" You see, I know y'all would have a field day with that. She damages the house and we have to pay to repair. Once she moves in, we cannot sell it to a homeowner. So that means that we probably won't get the highest price because the person who's buying it would be an investor if she's in the house while we sell it. And we have to pay for expenses while she's there if she's not paying for the rent or whatever. Because, you know, if it was up to me, if I was in Texas, you shouldn't shut that water off, shut that light off, shut the gas off, nothing. You're going to be in there freezing and dry and dirty. That's what you're going to be. That's what I would do. But, you know, we live in Pennsylvania, which is very similar to New York in terms of their real estate eviction laws. So that's the downside. Now, the upside is that she pays the rent every month. So that's $1,600 that we have to pay, or not the rent, the mortgage every month. That $1,600 goes towards paying the lender, right? Now, that is a better scenario than we're in, because now at least we know that $1,500 or $1,200 or $1,700 is covered every single month. We're not worried about that if she's paying her rent, and we can work on the candles and build that money up. And any money we get from YouTube can now go into building out the craft fairs or buying more inventory or supplies or whatever else we might need it to do. Because before, which would have been better, when we were making $1,500 to $1,800 a month, that would have been amazing to get that. But now that we're at $300, and I just think that is so crazy. Isn't this crazy? I feel like this is crazy. The fact that we were doing $1,500 to $1,800 a month on YouTube. Do you know how great that would be to get a check right now for $1,500 every month while the house in Philly's getting paid for? Oh my God, that would be so amazing. Oh my goodness. But I digress. The other upside is that, well, let me rephrase that. One of the things that I want to do is refinance the house, because what I really don't like is paying interest only payments. So we're not getting any equity from the house. The house value probably may go up. We don't really get nothing out of it. And because we haven't refinanced, we still don't really have any type of, I want to say, ownership in the house with that current loan that's there. I just don't like having that hard money loan on the house. But as y'all know, my credit is shot, so I cannot refinance the house currently as it stands. I've been talking to lenders over the last couple of weeks, and they said that if I get a 640 credit score and we're making at least $60K a year, they would loan. I shout out to my guy Tori. So his guy said that we would need about a 640 credit score. However, we could not be on a loan. Right, so it would have to be for somebody else. So what we talked about is doing what is called a quit claim deed. And for those who may not know what that is, I'm one of those people, so I had to do a little bit of research. Even though, you know, I am a licensed real estate agent, you know. So if I need a house to be sold, I got you.
You can't even say it.
So, how a quit claim deed is supposed to work is that it's pretty much a transfer of title. That's it. There's no insurances on it, nothing. So no one is protected by anything that happens in this transaction because, like, hey, here's the deed. Here you go. I don't want to deal with it. And now here's what I'll do. I will read the specific Google definition of a quit claim deed, just so that I have more of an understanding of it. Quit claim deed. Okay, it says a quit claim deed is a fast way to transfer property to a buyer, but you should know that unlike general or special warranty deeds, the quit claim includes no protections for the buyer. I got some great news right before the podcast. This is amazing news. And I'm trying to be more in touch with the universe and what it's saying to me. That's my goal right now. I was trying to we had a great quote from one of the crafters we were at a couple weeks ago. One of those very divine intervention moments where a lady came up to us and was talking to us about a thing that we had been discussing that whole morning. And when she was talking to us, she was saying that it's not coming from me, it's coming through me. And I thought that was just like real deep. I'm like, ooh. So now I'm trying to be in touch with what the universe and God is trying to get through me. Okay. Just not coming from me, guys. It's coming through me. All right. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And earlier today, before the podcast, I got a email that said that the lender would extend the loan another 3 months. So now it gives us a little bit more time to come up with a solution for the house, as opposed to January 12th. We need a solution in the next, honestly, basically 2 weeks at this point, maybe 3 weeks. So now I have an extra 3 months. And if we get the renter in there, she'll be paying the house in those 3 months. So now it's like, all right, what do we do? Like, do we put her in there? Because like I said earlier, she's risky. Now, here's why I'm uncomfortable with renting to this person. So she is from the South, and in the South, they have a lot of different eviction laws where they say once your eviction happens, you got like a week, get up out of here, right? There's this whole like go to the court and then they don't have that. It's like once this happening, we coming knocking down the door and you getting kicked out, stuff on the lawn. So credit scores under 620, right? Between 600 and 620. Has a couple charge-offs, okay? I asked her for bank statements. She said to me she does not feel comfortable giving bank statements. And I'm like, red flag. Then she sent me tax returns, right? But here's how she decided to send her tax returns. She took a screenshot of the website of how much money she had made the year prior. Now, some people may accept that. Me, coming from Finesse School University, that looks suspicious. I'm like, there's nothing even on here that even identifies you as the person that this tax return belongs to. It's literally just a number, like the IRS website, nothing about her. So I said, hey, can you get something else other than this? She said, yeah, you know what? I will get my accountant. They will send me something in a couple of days. I said, okay, fine. Right. Saturday comes along. And then let's say that was probably Thursday, right? Saturday comes along. I get a text from my agent and he says, well, she had to move quickly, so she no longer wants the house. She found somewhere else to go. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I'm like, all right, I guess there's nothing else to do. Like, she got no place. It is what it is. Let's wait for the next one. 2 days go by. She's back. Wanted to rent. And I'm like, see? That's suspicious. Like, did you either not have someone renting to you, right? Or did they tell you no too? Because your whole setup looks suspicious. I don't know. But it's very risky. And she is moving from the South up here because of her job. She got a whole letter that says, hey, this is where I'm going to be working at. This is how much I'm going to make. This is the day I start working. That's pretty much what's going on. So she's making, I think, like $7,000 a month or something like that now at her new job, which is good. It's enough to pay the rent. But one of my things is, how much are your bank statements? Like, how much do you have in your account? What were you doing before, as far as, did you have money in your account the days up to it? And then I asked this person, right? I said, hey, listen, tell my agent to tell her she might need a PG. Like, she might need somebody to guarantor or co-sign on this for her, because her stuff looking shady. She's gonna talk about some, I don't need no PG. I never needed no one to co-sign for me on no loan or no apartment. And I'm just like, that's not really up to, I don't care if you had it before. That's what I feel comfortable with. Now, this is already showing me that she is gonna be an issue. Like, this is, she's coming off as an issue already. But because we're in a situation that we're in the scenario that we are in, it's like, okay, do we just wait to try to pay? Because as of this point today, we do not have the money to pay for this month payment for the loan. Like, we don't have the money. Like, there's nowhere it's coming from. The check from YouTube is like $400. We been doing this craft fair. We have a little bit of money from that, but it's not enough to cover that, plus the car note, plus groceries, which we have not even really been doing, plus transportation to get to Turnstile, plus food, plus cat food, litter. None of that stuff is being covered, or subscriptions. Any of those things we can't cover with like $700. It's not gonna work, right? The math is not mathing. If your expenses is $3,000 and you only have $700, you can't afford all expenses. And if one of them is $1,500, it's like, okay, should we take this whole $700 and put it to that? And now we have nothing, and the house is half paid for. So that's why we're thinking about, okay, should we just let her into the house? Because the rent is $1,650, right? And the rent is $1,650, and we would get 3 months of rent technically. So we would get deposit, first month, and last month rent. That comes up to about $4,650, I believe, and then $1,650 of that goes to the agent, and the rest of it goes to us. Now, one of those will be able to go to paying off the loan. So I'm like, that works. And that money that we have from YouTube will be able to keep and reinvest it somehow into the business or whatever we need to pay for the house. So that's where we're at now. And now I'm going to get my beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend's opinion on what she thinks.
I really have no clue, because I guess worst case scenario is that we put her in there, she don't pay the rent, and they take the house. Is that true?
And people don't get paid money back from the house.
Well, people will get paid their money back whether or not we have the house.
That is true.
So I don't look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're gonna get their money back whether or not we have the house. And not having the house, I feel like, yeah, I'm not too concerned if we get foreclosed on, because all the money that was going towards the house will now go towards the candles, and I think will make it more sustainable. Because if that $1,800 that we've been paying every month, if we had that for the candles, Donovan, man.
That's what I'm saying. Man,
that sounds like, listen, I mean, we could put it in there, and then if they take the house, they take the house. And that $1,800 could go towards candle supplies. It could go towards Chelsea, and we're projecting to make $10,000 from Chelsea. So if we make how much we projected, and we're able to keep that ball rolling, we could pay everybody back. We could pay everybody back this year. Then how much is it that we owe? It would be 80, 60, 80.
Older, yeah, 80.
80.
Hold on. It says, under Pennsylvania law, a landlord may charge a tenant the equivalent of 2 months' rent for the security. Oh, for the security deposit. For the first year of renting, and the equivalent of 1 month's rent during all subsequent years of renting.
I feel like at this point, I don't know. I feel like you could put her in.
So, we could add another month of security deposit.
I think that's reasonable.
So I just took a bathroom break, guys. So I'm back. One thing I read while I was on my break is that when they say first, last, and security deposit, according to what I just read, the last month and the deposit is the same thing. So technically what they're doing is you're having 2 months worth of deposits, and then they're paying for that month of rent. So that's interesting to know, because I was like, oh, can we add another month of deposit? But they already have 2, and you can't go past 2. So I need to also find out what are the rules if someone ends their lease early. There's that. So I'm gonna look into that a little bit. But I think,
so if we can only charge them 2, does that mean that we only get 1 month?
what do you mean? Well,
The other month will go to Noah, or that wouldn't be.
no, we would still get 3 months, but 1 will go to Noah, 1 will go to us, and then 1 would be technically, well, actually, so technically we would get, well, that's the thing. So according to the law, you're supposed to put the money in an escrow account, right? So that's what I've heard. I don't know how many people actually do that per se. Ooh, did we just get paid by YouTube? Yes, we did just get paid by YouTube, a measly amount of money. But yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. I don't know how common that is to happen. So there's that. But we would technically get nothing by law. So legally, we get nothing. Legally. By law. So, did I answer your question? Are you looking it up?
Really, because I was asking. I was asking if with the 2 months if it goes to Noah.
What 2 months?
Huh?
What 2 months to go to Noah?
Yeah, 2 months is the max that can be charged.
No. It's 2 months for a deposit.
Okay, so then yeah, you answered my question.
Okay. So that's something I just learned. So then also I set up a meeting with everyone for this Sunday, and I don't really celebrate Christmas, neither does my mom or my aunt. So shout out to Tori for holding it down. So he said he'll pull up to the little Zoom meeting so we can kind of see what would be the best idea, because what I really want to know is what works best for everybody. Do they want me to try to keep the house? Do they want me to try to work on selling it, refinancing it? What is everybody's, I just want to get a feel of what everybody wants and thinks. So that's kind of what Sunday's meeting is going to be for. And I'll let y'all know how that goes, I guess, next Sunday after y'all watch this podcast. But as far as the house, I think that's pretty much sums up everything. And like I said, for her, she just seems very risky. But at this point, money is money, and we don't have any other options. And I also personally feel like I don't know if my agent is doing the best job right now, whether it be because of the house, he's not getting a lot of buyers on it or whatever. But I just don't feel that there's enough work being put into this. Not a fan. So, but on to the next topic. If you remember last week, we talked about Melissa's brother, and funny enough, we actually have a daily vlog from Vlogmas about it, but we just, we stopped Vlogmas. We stopped Vlogmas like the day before, the day of, but that would have been a fun video to watch.
Bro, I really wanted to post that one. I really did.
So, maybe it'll come out in the secret X-Files.
It'll definitely come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just not now.
So that'll be in the X-Files. But, so it wasn't necessarily a scam. Like, he didn't go there and they robbed him or anything like that. Well, they didn't physically beat him up in the alleyway and take money out of his pockets. That's not what happened. But it was a photo shoot. I'll put some of the pictures up here so you can see them. I hope I have the license to do that, because he's a model now. I don't want to get sued by anybody. They took pictures. He brung and purchased a lot of clothes to bring to this thing. And at the end, Melissa went. I was not there. This is all secondhand story from her. After the whole photo shoot, everyone was excited. She was excited. He was excited. He's about to be a big model now.
That's not what happened.
So, that's not what happened?
No, we weren't excited.
Okay, they weren't excited.
No.
So, okay. So they took them into the back room, and they sat them down.
Yes.
And they said, "Hey guys, I see something in you. You're special. I see something in you. You're the next one. You are gonna be the next. It's you, right?" And they said, "Listen. So we have these packages for you, but for you, because you're so good, we're gonna give you a lower price. Normally, it's $4,000. But for you, because you're so good and I like you, we'll put you on like a payment plan, so you don't have to pay it all right now. Just pay some right now, and then we'll give you some pictures, and then you pay for the rest of it later, and then we'll give you pictures again then. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, it's not correct. Okay, what happened?
They had packages for the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had a package to like help you break into the modeling industry.
Mm.
And if you pay for your pictures, that amount would go towards the package, which was like $4,000.
Mm.
So if you paid $400 for your pictures, it would.
Is that how much he paid? Is that how much he paid?
No.
Oh, okay. He paid more than that.
$600.
Oh, got you. Well, yes. Close to $1,000 was spent on this package, and
you ain't get the package. You got pictures.
Oh, sure. So close to $1,000 was spent on the pictures that they took of him that will then go towards the package for his modeling career. So overall, listen, I think it was not the best use of money, but he's young. It is what it is. I've been there before. Luckily enough, my mom kind of got me out of it to some degree. I remember it was back when I was a young lad looking for a job in this cruel, cold world. I was trying to become a security guard or like a front desk person. And I saw they were paying like $25 an hour or something like that. I'm like, oh, this sounds great. I could do that. Sit at the front desk and just get paid. That sounds good. So I go to this meeting, it's in financial district, because they always want to rent a place in a building that's, in a nicer area, or so it seems. And I got into the place, and everything just seemed funny, right? It was just like very strange to me. I think they wanted like $600. The chairs were like, they had different types of chairs in this room. They weren't all the same chair. People were just sitting there. The kind of people that were there were suspicious to me. I was like, that seems kind of off. Then they took us into this other room where we had to pay like $300, something like that. So after we paid the money, this is how I now know when somebody's about to scam me, when they try to rush me into something. Because what the guy said to me at that point was, so you pay $300 right now, but tomorrow you have to come down here by 6 o'clock in the morning and pay another $500 to get into for us to submit your application to get these jobs, because we don't actually have the job. We're going to submit it on your behalf. And I remember feeling like, oh man, I got to get down here mad early. Like, oh my God, if I don't get down here early enough, I'm going to miss my opportunity to be able to get this job that I really want. And I remember after that, I called my mom after I'd already paid him the first $300. I kind of told her about it. She was just like, yeah, that don't sound right. Like, you shouldn't have to pay money to get a job. And I was just like, I'm like, okay. I was like, what should I do? She's like, okay, go back in there and tell them that you are gonna file or complain to the BCC or one of the CC people. And I went back inside and they were like, yeah, and honestly, before it started, they said we don't do no refunds. So I was like, yeah, but Ma, they don't do no refund. They said they're not gonna give me my money back. I already paid. She's like, listen, go in there and tell them that you are gonna complain. You're gonna file a complaint with this person and you want your money back. I was like, sure, okay, I'm gonna go back. It's not gonna work though. I know it's not gonna work. So I went back inside and I told them. They're like, yeah, here, don't worry about it. And I think the funny thing too about it was, when they gave me the money, they brought me into another room, it was like a hallway. So think about it like this. You come into one through a door and there's a room, and then there's a desk at the front of the room and people sitting behind the desk. Then when you to your right is another door. When you go through that door, there is a door in front of you to another room, but there's like a corridor in the middle of those two doors. So in the first room is where they have people who are, I guess, paying money. And then the second room is where they kind of try to get you to pay money again for something else. And they brought me to the middle of the room, like in the middle of those two places, to give my money back. Guys, they didn't want nobody else to see that I was getting a refund, because someone else, and I think someone else came up to me like, hey man, what's going on? I'm like, listen bro, don't do it. I'm like, if I was you, I would not do it. Get your money back. And he was like, I could do that. I'm like, bro, I got my money back. Go get your money back. And I think he went and got his money back. So hopefully, shout out to him. He got his $300. Those are things that I learned, that they try to bring you to another separate place to try and upsell you on something. They don't want to give you your money back. They try to rush you into sales or getting a sale, coming back the next day, or this is immediate, you got to do it now, or you're going to lose the opportunity. And that's what I learned from that. So hearing about the scenario with her brother, I'm like, it sounds very similar to that. And like I said, it happens to the best of us. Like everybody gets got for something. You ever been scammed before? Only time you almost got scammed was the PA thing. That almost got you.
Yeah, I've never actually went through with whatever thing it was. So there's been times where it was a job offer. It was an MLM thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I've ever put money into anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
I'm very pessimistic.
But yeah, so that's how that went, and I guess we'll see what happens from here. Has he kind of updated you about it at all, or what is his plan right now? You don't know.
You think he would give me updates?
I mean, I felt like y'all talked. Maybe he might say,
You think he would give me updates?
I think y'all might have had a conversation.
Give me updates.
I don't think he would volunteer an update. I think you might have talked about it.
So one of the things that they said, because he was so great, is that she would give him free resources that he would have had to pay for in the modeling package in a separate email that he would get tomorrow, but you have to choose what you're doing today. I'm like, okay. So then the email came in. I asked him the next day if he got an email. He said no. And I feel like if he did get an email, he would have told me. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how to go about this, because I don't want to ask him too many questions. And I don't know how he feels about the whole interaction. And I don't know if I should be, like your mom would be like, I don't think you should do that. When it comes to him specifically, because he doesn't have a lot of experiences. I don't know.
Well, the difference with that and my mom is I went to her.
That's the other thing too.
I was like, this seemed like. So,
technically he did ask me if he should do it in the beginning. And I said, sure. Because I thought, he was going to lose $50. But
yeah, so like I said, that's where we at. So anybody out there, if you have ever paid for a job and you were successful at the job, getting the job, please let me know. From my experience and what people have told me, if you are paying for a job, it's probably a scam. Just from my history. So that was the second topic. On to topic number 3. That will be turnstile and the candles. So shout out to Tanisha. We still love you. We love you all the time. Even though you're not going to comment no more, because you want to watch in silence. But she had asked what is turnstile, and other people who may have not known what it is. It's another location that is at Columbus Circle, which is a popular spot in New York City. It's underground by the train station. So we have a contract for 90 days to be there, and it's every single day that we try to go. So we were contemplating on whether or not we should renew. I feel like if I could tilt the mic, that would be like, it don't really tilt that way. That if we could, we were contemplating on whether or not we should go back for the following month, because even though we're just sitting there, we're still getting some money from the place. So it is financially better. And this is what I've been talking about a lot lately too, or at least thinking about a lot, is yes, this opportunity makes money, but what does it cost? And what is the opportunity cost to doing this thing? Because if we're spending every single day at Turnstile, right, we made $1,000 in one week, which is not a lot, but it's decent. But I don't know if that's because of Christmas. So I don't want to take that and extrapolate it over January and assume that we're going to make that same amount every single week, because we've only made, I think we made $600 the second week, like $1,000 the first week. Are we at $2,000 yet? Let me see how much we made so far. It is the third. It's literally the third. 21 days. It's been 3 weeks. So in the 3 weeks, wow. Oh no, that's not right. When did we do? We did. Yeah, we'll do this to this. we've made $1,400 in 2 weeks working turnstile. Technically, now I think about it, the math I'm doing is from December 5th. So yes, was that like 2.5 weeks? 1, 2. It's like 2.5 weeks. We made $700. We made about $700 a week, which is not terrible because it's better than making $0. But again, I know some people probably. I always think to myself. I don't know what y'all are thinking. I always think, is this worth doing more than something else? Not is it worth doing, because I think me and a lot of other people think, well, if you're making money, you should do it. And it's like, no, because if I can make more money or spend my money better or my time better, then that should be the opportunity that I go after. So if Turnstile is making $700 a week, it's like, okay, and I gotta pay $500 a month, and then I have to be there every day. Is it worth doing? And again, I cannot say whether or not we'll even make that same amount the following month, because it's Christmas, and we'll be even more tired because we have craft fairs in January that we're doing. So the time spent at the craft fairs will take away from us being able to be at this location and the energy to be at this location. And on top of that, I feel like this location is actually not there. I don't know how to really say it. They are bringing in vendors that I don't feel like make the whole space better. They're bringing in food vendors. They're bringing in, like, I feel like low quality vendors. There's a guy that's there and he's selling candles, funny enough, right? And one of my guys was like, hey man, you should check him out because, you know, it's competition. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go see what he's doing. You know, it's not real competition. Like, I honestly don't see no real competition other than like Yankee Candle and stuff like that. But, you know, other people do sell candles. So I'm like, all right, let me go check him out. So I go over there and I see Jolly Rancher candles, like with the logo of Jolly Rancher on it. I see Skittles candles with the Skittle logo on it. I see Nautica candles with the Nautica logo on it. And then I see on the other side a bunch of white boxes with masking tape and a Sharpie on the masking tape with the name of the candle on it. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, mind you, it's not a setup. It's literally just a table, a couple of tables, and he just has those candles on a table. And I'm like, that's insane. Then you have ASPCA. They have a little, I don't even call it a booth. They just, I was told, were you told this? Or you told about why they're in the middle now? Did you hear that? Were you there for that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was told that ASPCA has a booth there because the train station did not allow them to try and get people to sign up for their program or whatever they sell without having a booth. That's what I heard. So they were in the train station asking like, hey, ASPCA, save a dog, save a cat, save a Charmander, right? And then they were like, listen, if you're gonna be down here, you need a booth. So they made them pay for a booth. So now all they do is they have a booth where they just stand there with their shirts on and just ask the same question they would have asked if they did not have a booth. So now we have them there. We have the candle person there, and then I just saw yesterday they have this person has a brick and mortar location. So by brick and mortar, they have people who have booths in the middle, and then on the sides they have people who have like full on location where they pay like $4,000 to $6,000 a month for it. It's, you know, it's probably maybe like, I would probably say it is maybe 12 by 15 feet, maybe something like that size. And they just have a bunch of random, it looks like, honestly, I don't even know what to call it. It's clothing, but it looks like it's dusty. Like literally, like there's probably dust on the clothing. If you've ever been to New York, you've been to Canal Street and you have those like vendors that are in the cut. That's what it looked like they put there. It looked like one of those we just put right in the middle. So I'm like, I see that. Then they have people who have booths that are still closed down. It's a lot, right? So the flag for me is that they are adding more vendors like that, as opposed to adding vendors who can uplift the place and make people want to come back and buy stuff there. It make you want to feel good when you walk through. They hanging up garland with duct tape. It's falling off. I'm just like, it don't even, like, at least when we got there, I feel like there were either, I wouldn't say they were necessarily better vendors, but there were less vendors. And to me, that's better than having it where you have a bunch of bad vendors, right? Because now you feel like you're walking on Canal Street. Like, that's not the vibe that the candles are in. So it's made some money for the month. And I think one thing that we learned from it is the loyalty program. So shout out to everybody who bought a candle. Okay, we now have a loyalty program. It's on Square. So the more you buy, the more points you get. And I'm working on trying to figure out how I can incorporate other things to getting more points, like either referring a friend or doing a shout out or something, like different things, like different points for different things. So that's what I'm working on now. And another thing that I think came from Turnstile is the fact that we've met some good people. Nothing has come from it yet, but there's one person in particular we met. She's a doctor at Columbia, and she works on smells and how smells affect how smells and trauma are connected in the body. And they tested to see, like, okay, if what smell makes you do this, or how do you respond to that smell? And I think she was even saying that they kind of, I don't know if she makes smells, but she kind of understands what chemicals or what order of molecules would make up the smell that we may call chocolate or we may call cedarwood. She knows that, so she can smell it and go, oh, this is OH3 elemental P. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So when we decide to start making our own fragrances or whatever the case might be, she may be able to play a crucial role in that. And she was also talking about buying in bulk, so that's always a good thing to have, bulk buyers and wholesale orders. So those were good. And then what happened yesterday, which I really liked, one of the problems with Squarespace right now is that they don't really have a lot of functionality in terms of having a robust website. So the things that I want to do on there, they don't really have the ability to do. Like, one of those examples was a loyalty program. I had to find another person or another company to then integrate it using a code injection, which is just pretty much taking their code or copying a piece of their code that they give us and putting it into Squarespace. But it didn't really look good. You couldn't customize it, couldn't change the name. It was the wrong color. It was very obnoxious on the page. I didn't like it. So talking to the guy yesterday, we came up with this idea where we'll have a different website, like multiple websites. But when you go on the Ember candle, right, the link may say loyalty program, and when you click on it, it'll take you to a different website that's still linked to us. So it may be called Ember Candle Loyalty, right? That might be the name of it. And it'll be the Squarespace website, but you can still order on there and get your points. So we're thinking about doing something like that, and something similar with referral programs and just different types of things like that. Because before, I was trying to figure out how can I get all of these things into one website, as opposed to just linking our website to other websites. So I think that that's probably like the best option that we came up with right now. And it's cheaper than having to hire someone to build the website out completely from scratch. We can't afford that. So I think that is probably a good option right now. While we were at Turnstile, we also got our first Amazon order, which was kind of interesting. That was very surprising because we were not thinking about that in the slightest. And I learned something else from that order. So technically, the candles are cheaper on Amazon because, and correct me if I'm wrong, they don't charge shipping. Is that what it is? Yeah, we still don't know why she bought it on Amazon. Honestly, we're trying to figure it out. I thought that she had got a deal, but we just got paid less for it because Amazon took their fee. But it's just interesting. That's crazy to me that she would buy it on. I don't know how she found it or why she bought it on there. So that's very interesting. Maybe it was an ad. We have not even run an ad on Amazon, so I don't know how she bought it. Shout out to her if you're watching this. We don't know where you bought the candle from. My assumption that she was linked to one of the athletes and somehow they told her about it. But the crazy thing about that is, why would you not use your 30% discount on the website if you had an athlete tell you about the candle? It's very confusing. Very confusing. I have no idea why this happened or where it came from. But shout out to her for buying the candle. Staying on the candle topic, we ran our first ad. Okay. We're trying to learn ads just to see what we should do. And when it comes to ads, for me, I know that it takes a lot of work to make an ad because it's about iterations and knowing, trying something, then you change the color of the font, you change how you said a word, you change how long one clip is versus another clip. So the clip that we chose to run, if you have us on Instagram on the candle page, funny enough, it was a clip that kind of has some violence in it. It is a meme, but it has violence in it, and they promoted it as an ad. So when we first ran an ad, we spent $10 on the ad to see what would happen, and we got some drives to the website. But on the comments of that post on Facebook, people were like, wait, you could promote a violent ad? Like, what's going on with that? Is this supposed to happen? And then we ran it again without going on Facebook because we realized that for whatever reason, Facebook decided to show the candles to people who are 65 and older mostly, and our demographic is younger than that. So that was somewhat surprising. So we ran it again on Instagram. I got one comment. He thought it was funny, and he was like, I didn't know I should trim my wick. Now I know. So that's good, but we didn't really get any sales from it. Huh.
I think there was no call to action. Or like nothing about the brand really. It was just about trimming your wick.
Yeah. I thought they might still follow the page or something, like follow Instagram or something. But yeah, right. There's no call to action. And I was just watching a video today about Is it on? Yeah, about drop shipping. And drop shipping is mostly just an ad running business for the most part, and that's running good ads and finding good products. And the guy was reviewing ads that he paid for on Fiverr, and he kept saying that some people had good call to actions and other people did not have good call to action. The video that we posted was just a meme to see what happens, because I don't really know which one is better. If it's good to have a product go viral, or if it's good to have a good ad. Because I feel like you don't need a call to action if Beyonce says, I really like this candle, right? But is that better than running a good ad that has a call to action and all the other good stuff? It's difficult. So that's what we're trying to figure out, because like, should we make content that people remember the brand for, or should we make content that converts to more sales? So I would probably, asking the question out loud, would say convert to more sales, which would probably mean that it would be better to do like more business, not business type ads, but ads that convert sales. So that's something we're gonna try and work on. But my biggest issue with ads is you got to spend money to learn what you're doing right or wrong. I don't really like that, especially when we're broke. So that I really don't like that. We spent $20 so far. I don't know what amount of money we have to spend to get one order, and I think we would actually have to come up like with an ad from top to bottom to make it good enough to get orders. So that's gonna take time and resources. So, and then I think that's it for the candle. The next topic is I want to remind everybody that we are doing a live next week. What day is that? Friday?
The first day of the year.
So the first day of the year, and that is going to be, so like January. So that'll be, it's not next week. It's the week after next week, Sunday. So are we doing it the Saturday into Sunday, or are we doing it Sunday?
It's just Sunday, the first day.
Okay. So Sunday, January 1st, we are doing the New Year live. And in that live, if you're in the Discord, you know, you can pull up. We're going to be talking on there. The main things that I want to go over is what the plans are for the upcoming year, what we think about last year, obviously kicking it with y'all, finding out, you know, what you guys want to do for the year, how you guys feel like your last year was. And like I said, we have a lot of plans that we want to do, and I think the last 2 years have helped me see why we haven't gotten to where I want to get to and the amount of time that I want to get there in. And one of those things that I've kind of been working on framework wise is scaling back my goals and scaling up Melissa's. And then I think that is where our middle ground is at. So, for example, Melissa says she wanted to make $250,000 next year. And I'm like, I want to do $1 million, right? And I think for me, one thing that I realized just doing the numbers for making $1 million next year, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But we would need at least $250,000 to make that $1 million, just on paying for inventory and paying for the fairs that I want to do to make that $1 million, unless every order came from online. And even if every order came from online, we would still need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to fulfill the orders to then make the $1 million. So even if we had a huge influx of orders, we still would need the money to pay to make the product and the time to do it. So thinking like that, right? I'm like, okay, originally what I said was I would cut it to a fourth, whatever my number is. I will cut it in half, then cut it in half again. So I think it'd be better for me to cut it in half once, and then Melissa's, we just gonna double hers. I think that's kind of where we're at, and we end up close to a number that I still feel like, okay, it's not the $1 million I want to hit, but it's still on the path. Like, it's still in that direction. So it just, a different plan to get there. I feel like with Melissa, she's kind of like, I feel like she be, what's that word? Shortchanging herself, because she thinks 250. I'm like, I feel like 250 is really low, very reasonable, but low. I feel like I like to always stretch out to see what we could possibly get, and I think that now that we have less things to focus on, it'll be a lot easier to do that. And that would be like 40 grand a month to get to 500,000 for the year. In my soul, I want to do $1 million. In my soul. What? You keep looking at me. What is it?
You're talking.
You was not looking at me for the last 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes.
Now I'm looking at you.
So what is the problem? Yes, what you want?
Because I'm listening to what you.
Oh, who you doing before?
Not listening.
I see.
I was not listening.
I know you wasn't. I know.
So then,
I know you was. Because I'm like, what happened? Why are you looking at me now? Before, I was looking at you. You was looking at me. So I'm like, okay, don't look over here. All right? Jeez. So, like I said, I want to do $1 million next year, but I will work towards 500,000 for the year, and we'll see how that goes. And then hopefully we hit $1 million. But my goal, in my soul, I want to be $1 million. But because the business requires us to have money to make money, I think that until we have more money, or at least access to more money, it becomes very difficult to do such a thing. That's all I'm saying. So, and one thing, onto my next topic, that I have learned over the last, I would say 5 to 8 weeks. Melissa's dying. What is it? What is going on with you?
I'm hungry.
You look like the cats when they just looking in the ceiling when it's hot in the house. They just don't move.
I want food.
Bro, yeah, you look just like them. You look just like them. So in the last, like I said, probably 5 to 8 weeks, I have changed my outlook on saving. Normally, my outlook on saving was that it's like a currency and it should be exchanged as quickly as possible to grow whatever it is that you're doing, not to just put it on nonsense. I think it should be a consistent flow of investing into yourself. Because we started saving to pay Carlene back, it made me realize how much money we could save by just putting money to the side. So what I've done for this month so far is I have allocated 30% of every dollar we make from Turnstile into a savings account. Shout out to Square, because they allow me to just set it up and not have to worry about it. So every payment or sale we get, before I even see the money in our checking account, it goes into a savings account, which I like. And I honestly have always wanted something like that, but I couldn't really find anything that did it. Just like I did not want to be the one to do it. Like, I don't want to see the money. Like, don't let me see that half $500. Just give me the 100 or 150 or whatever, and I'll work with that. Don't let me see the 500. But now the way it's working, like I said, we were able to save up $1,400 to pay Carlene back, and right now, off the money that we've made, I think we made like $1,200. We have saved almost $400 from that money. Maybe like $350 or something like that. And to me, that's crazy, because that is enough money to do a craft fair. And I'm thinking, what would happen if we were saving 30% of every single dollar we made from all the craft fairs? Would that have turnstile did something? Would that have helped us? Or how would it have helped us before? And I was talking to Tori about this, because I think that one of the ways to look at money is not physically, it's philosophically. And I think once the right philosophy is applied to money, then you can spend money and make money correctly. And when I look at, like, it falls into the same category as risk, where you can't really put a number on risk. Like, if I say, hey, I'm gonna loan you money, but you're only 8 years old, right? I can't tell how good you are with money based off of that, but I can assume that you're probably not going to be as good as somebody who is 25 who has a career in finance, because you're 8. But there's no number that I can think of that I will put on that. And I think that's where money falls into play, where philosophically you have to know how to apply the money. So when it comes to, and funny enough, if y'all ever play this game, I always advise everyone to play this game. Rich Dad, Poor Dad has a game. What's wrong with you?
I was gonna say,
you are dying. Don't sulk. You're dying. You about to, what is this, starvation? You just wither into a stick, and then we'll address that afterwards. Okay. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an amazing game. And one of the things in the game is they reward you for donating to charity in the game. And I'm like, why would a person who has money put that in the game? Like, he's about money. Why would he put in the game, give away 10% of your money or whatever the amount is to a charity? Doesn't make any sense, right? So that falls into line with the whole philosophical idea that there's something about giving this money to a cause or a good thing that it makes you more money. I don't know how it works, because again, it's philosophical. You can't touch it. You can't really feel it. It just exists. So I feel like that's how money is supposed to be used, and trying to figure out the best way to do that is where it becomes difficult. But I go back to the whole saving thing. So when I think of getting paid, right, from a sale online or at the craft fair, that money should be used to reinvest into the business. However, there should be money put to the side, because I know this sounds very obvious, but things are going to happen, right? That's one reason. I think the other reason is that when you save money, it's almost like, I think that's what it is. It's like bringing the past into the future, as opposed to debt, which negatively affects your future. Saving positively affects your future. So having more savings, because a day is going to go by every day, right? This, like I said, this is philosophical money stuff. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday. I can't stop it from being Thursday. Nothing I do will make it be a different day. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and the day will go by, right? I will wake up, it's going to be Thursday. If I put $1 from today into an account, or into a bank, into my piggy bank, into an envelope, right, on Thursday, I will have another $1. I'll have $1 on Thursday when I wake up. That I would not have had if I did not put it there from Wednesday. If I do that every day, I am now compounding each day and adding more money into that. So now when I have something come up that I need money for, I have the money that I've been dragging from the past into the present with me. And I can use that money to then catapult me, or what's the other word that they use? I love this word. Exponentially grow my money or my whatever to where I want to get to. And as I say it, it sounds so silly because it's so obvious, but my philosophy was very different when it comes to saving. So everything I'm saying right now is the basics of saving. It's just, I feel like for me, just saying save money for a rainy day is like, well, that sounds like a waste of money. Like, that sounds like a waste of money to me. Because, like, what is a rainy day? How much money am I going to need for that rainy day? Like, what if it rains more money than I have in my account? Do I put it towards that? And then how many rainy days do I save for? How long do I save? A lot of stuff. So, the one thing that I feel like numerically that I see a trend of is 3 or 30 or 33 or whatever. When it comes to business, they tell you to charge 3 times whatever your product costs to make. Like, that's kind of the rule of thumb. And I feel like if you look at a lot of different financial advice, I feel like 3 plays a very large role into that, which is why I chose to save 30% of every sale that we get. So, like I said, right now it's doing well. That money we could definitely use to do something with. I don't know yet, but it's just cool that it's there. So, shout out to Carlene for showing that to us by us saving to pay her back. And that we had $1,400. $1,400 we paid her back. We made, let me see. How much you made this year? You made $30,000 this year? So we would have 10K in our account right now?
Yeah.
Crazy. So, but shout out to saving. I'm gonna keep doing it. I've always liked saving, but let me not say that. I've never been a saver. I've been not a spender. That's my thing. So I'll just like hoard the money until I want to buy something that's more money than I need to spend on. And I think that mentally it's very different than what saving is. So, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think Yeah, I don't know.
What are you gonna say?
I don't know how to word it.
Okay, say it as rude as you can.
As rude?
I'm listening. We're ready for this.
What do you mean say it as rude?
We're ready. I'm bracing myself. I have braced myself for it.
I'm thinking about like the Pop-Tarts.
Mm-hmm.
That whole concept. But I don't know how I would put that
into saving?
Yeah, just kind of like just spending money in general.
But like in terms of what? Like just, you think that applies to saving?
I think so. I think it helps you plan kind of out how you're spending.
But that's not saving.
Because of what you just said about spending. How you would save until you want to spend more money on something than you should or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not saving.
I was responding to the last thing that you said.
Okay, so the last thing I said was how I used to how I think about spending. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what are you saying in response to that?
I think if you like looked at it closer to how I look at it, with the spending, that would be interesting.
See, what do you? I'm like, I don't have a problem. I'd be listening to what you're saying, and then you just let it fall off a cliff. That'd be the problem that I have.
Oh, okay.
You said it'd be close to what I'm saying. You said if you thought how I thought, that would be interesting. That's what you said.
I don't want to be wrong, so I would just...
Wrong about what?
Just going down the path of a conversation that could lead to me being wrong.
But what? Oh my God. Melissa and I had a conversation recently about Pop-Tarts, and here's the scenario that we are in. Sometimes we will buy Pop-Tarts from the vending machine, and by sometimes I mean very, very infrequently, as in the last week we probably bought 5 Pop-Tarts from the vending machine. And Melissa would like to buy the Pop-Tarts from the grocery store as opposed to the vending machine. Originally, she wanted to go to like BJ's or something like that. And I've said, I don't think it makes sense for us to spend $20 or $30 on Pop-Tarts.
How much it is?
How much money is it?
It's like $12.
Okay. I don't think we should spend $12 on Pop-Tarts because we don't eat Pop-Tarts that much, and we bought it as I'm on my way home, I'm gonna get a snack from the vending machine. Also, if there are more Pop-Tarts in the house, they will be eaten faster, right? That's my thing. So I would prefer to not spend money than to spend money. Why are you making a face?
That's because that's the part that be tripping me up.
What is tripping you up?
Because you're gonna spend the money anyways.
Okay, sure, okay.
Yeah, that's the part that be tripping me up with your logic on it.
Okay, if you have $5, you gonna spend $5 or you gonna spend $20? Which one is gonna have you make more? It's gonna keep more money in your pocket.
Keep more money in your pocket?
Yes.
If you spend $5?
That's how I look at it.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's like if I'm spending $5 every day versus the 20.
But you're not spending it every day.
5 days out of 7 is almost every day. It's a lot of days, more than half.
Sure.
Right. So that's if I see a pattern or a trend, like, okay, we're doing this thing, we're now doing this thing every day, and now it's gonna lead to us spending more money than just if it was a one-off of the 5.
Okay, but how many times have you bought Pop-Tarts in the month?
In the month?
Yes.
I don't know.
Probably 5 times.
Right, but that trend started this week. So if we continue on this trend, and that's related to what's happening right now. The reason why we didn't get Pop-Tarts earlier in the month is because there was more food in the house. There's no food in the house right now, and that's why we get Pop-Tarts.
Sunday, we can buy Pop-Tarts because we didn't go to work.
And there's no food in the house.
Sunday, we can buy Pop-Tarts because we did not go to work.
What do you mean?
The money that would have been paid to go to work.
I don't think we should ever buy from the vending machine. I don't think we should ever buy from the vending machine.
Sure. That's difficult for me because you like to go to the vending machine.
Because there's no food in the house.
I won't eat, so I'll be fine.
That does not change the fact that if there's no food in the house, that's what makes me go to the vending machine.
You could just not go to the vending machine.
Or we could just have food in the house.
But you gotta pay for food in the house.
I was about to pay for the vending machine.
But it's more money for the food in the vending machine. At the house.
It is more money for the food in the vending machine.
No, Melissa. It's more money for the food that's not in the vending machine.
That is not true.
You are spending more money.
That is not true.
It's $20. It's $12 more than $175.
But that's not where I would. But you're talking about BJ's. I wouldn't get it from BJ's.
It's $5 more than $175.
But that's not how much I spend when I go to the vending machine. When I go to the vending machine, how many things do I get?
We're talking about Pop-Tarts. Because now if you're adding in drinks and other stuff, you're going to buy a box for everything else too?
What do you mean?
You're saying that I'm adding in other things.
Yes.
Right? Okay. No, you said you said that other things are bought at the vending machine. Right? So ginger ale, Pop-Tarts, Doritos. Are you going to buy those 3 things also from Stop and Shop?
Probably.
Okay, so instead of spending the original 5, now you're at like 15, as opposed to.
That may not be accurate. A.
Okay.
B, if I'm looking at how many times I'm going to the vending machine, that may make sense, and that's my whole thing. Where it's like I don't like to deprive myself of things because obviously there's a reason why I'm going to the vending machine. So I'd rather look at why I'm doing the thing and try to solve that problem than just be like, I'm just not gonna eat nothing. Because it's not realistic for me. Because when I get hungry, I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna want to eat something, and I'm gonna probably succumb to buying something. So instead of me doing that and paying more money on the back end, I'd rather plan for me wanting to have food in the house and buy the snacks. Because if I don't have food in the house for the entire week, I'm probably gonna want to go to the vending machine every day for that week.
Okay, so here is where I see the problem is at, which we kind of already addressed like a couple days ago. I have no problem depriving myself of eating food. I don't care, right? Melissa does not operate like that. So I would much rather spend the money that she is going to spend at BJ or at Stop and Shop on the vending machine or outside, because I don't mind not eating for a day or two. It doesn't bother. I'll be like, all right, I'll have waffles. I'll be fine.
That's not. But you're still. My thing is that you're still spending the money. So.
But I'm not.
But you are.
But I'm not.
You're looking at it as one-off things.
Yes, but it is.
5 times.
No, you went to the vending machine. I don't.
Also went to the vending machine.
I don't go to the vending machine that much.
You went to the vending machine.
What did I just say?
Well, you said that much.
Right. I went on Sunday, which is the day we didn't go to work, so that doesn't even count.
It does count.
It does not count because the money I would have spent on food outside.
No, it does. It counts because if there was food in the house, you would not have gone to the vending machine.
But it doesn't. But I've allocated money to going to the vending machine.
It's to me it never makes sense to go to the vending machine because they are they're marking up the prices of the individual products ridiculously.
Yes.
And if you would have bought whatever thing it is on Sunday, you wouldn't have gone to the vending machine for the rest of the week. So now it's a daily thing because there's whatever there's no because.
But it's not daily for me because if I buy it on Sunday, I don't have to go again for a couple days.
I'm looking at what happened this week.
Okay, what happened this week?
We went to the vending machine.
We went to the vending machine.
Like, yes.
What did I go to the vending machine this week?
I don't know.
None.
That's not true. I don't know.
None. I'm telling you it's none.
There was one of these.
Today is Wednesday. I have not gone to the vending machine. I went one time last week on like a Friday, I think.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. You started going to the vending machine. We came home one day and you're like, I'm like, where you going? And you went to the vending machine. I was like, wait, I'm telling you what happened. I think that was either Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm like, oh, you go to the vending machine? All right. And you got me something, right? I think the following day, I think you went again. Then the day after that, I went. I think that was probably Saturday, and I went again on Sunday. I went to the vending machine those days. Then this week, you went to the vending machine, I think twice. But I know at least once.
I don't know if I went twice.
So at least once. So I don't have a problem. I go to the vending machine. I won't go to the vending machine if it doesn't bother me to not go. I'll eat the waffles in the house and be fine. Sometimes I might, if I want a Pop-Tart for $3 and I want to go downstairs and get it, it's fine for me because I won't eat for the next 3 or 4 days.
But no.
What do you mean no?
So because the problem that I'm saying is that I think money is wasted from buying something that's so heavily marked up when it economically makes more sense to get it in a pack.
But that's only if you're going to be buying the thing often. If you're buying it once, you're not spending as much money.
But we're not buying it once. So
I am not buying it.
I'm not talking. I don't care about you specifically.
Okay, but then
I'm not putting this on you.
But what I'm saying is you're applying it to my philosophy on how I would buy stuff. I'm saying if I'm only going to buy one time this week, I can spend $3 once. I'm only going to buy it once. If you're going to buy more than once this week, it will not make sense for you to spend $3 every single day on it.
So then what's the problem?
That's what I'm saying. I am saying that the philosophy that you're saying does not apply to me. That's not how I operate when it comes to buying the food.
But I think it should. That's what I'm saying.
That right there. You're saying that I should operate in that way. When I'm telling you that I don't, because I don't go and buy food the same way that you do.
I don't think that's true.
You think I was the vending machine more than you do, or as much as you do?
You be eating the food from the vending machine.
That's not what I asked you.
Because I'm trying to.
If you buy it and bring it up here, I'm gonna eat it. Yes. All right, but am I the one? No, it does not count. If you don't go, I'm not gonna get nothing.
But you went 2 days, so.
Yes, because you went 2 days before me in a row.
What does that have to do with it?
I'm like, damn, now I want some Pop-Tarts.
Okay, but you're still and that's what I'm saying. You still want the thing. But
I will deprive myself of eating the thing.
I don't think that's necessary.
But that's not whoa. That's subjective. But that's subjective.
But this is what I'm saying. If you're gonna go 2 times, you already paid for a 6-pack of You already paid for a 6-pack of Pop-Tarts by going to the vending machine and getting 2 Pop-Tarts. You already paid for 6, and that's my problem.
But then this is the thing. You're all okay. There's several things here. One, I would not buy it that often. That's number one. Number two, by your logic, you now have to buy multiple things in bulk. You have to now get juice. You got to get ginger ale. You got to get Doritos. You got to get Twix. You got to get Pop-Tarts, and you got to get everything else. Because if you're gonna go to the vending machine, you got to buy all the other stuff.
But that's the thing. You can plan for that and be economical about it. So an example of that is, you know, the $2 ginger ale that you normally get.
Yes.
You could get a whole thing of Minute Maid juice or something like that, or even cheaper, and they'll have it for like $1 or whatever, and that's more for your money than what you're getting from the vending machine. That's why I don't like it. And that's why it's like, if I notice that I'm going to the vending machine, that's typically because I feel like there's nothing in the house to eat.
Yes.
Right.
But I don't go to the vending machine. That's the part that you are not putting together in the scenario.
You don't, but you.
If I go to the vending machine 3 times out of the month and I spend $15, that is less than if I was to go and try to buy all the stuff to have for the whole month.
But that's the same. I'm saying that you don't have to get everything like you don't have to get everything in bulk for each individual item. It's kind of like, okay, if I know that I want chocolate, I'm not going to get Snickers and this and that and that. I'll just choose like, okay, this is what I want to get. So my thing for chocolate would be Nutella. That's what I've been eating, but we don't have no bread.
Okay.
Right. So it's like, that's where the problem kind of comes in, where there's nothing to eat this with. It's not hearty, it's not filling me up. I'm going to go to the vending machine.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the vending machine anymore.
So then stop.
I want to go to the grocery store.
But sure, but that's what you are trying to impose your philosophy on me. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, that I don't operate like that. I will eat bread and I will eat one Dorito and be, that's what I'm trying. I don't think that you're understanding that we look at that differently. Yes,
but because we look at that differently, then that's how we kind of come into disagreements about what I'm spending at the grocery store.
So this is the thing. This is what I was saying earlier right before the conversation started, was that we kind of already solved this. If you want to spend the money from the week for food on ramen and ginger ale and Pop-Tarts for that's what you should do. Because you feel like I can't just eat this thing every day, or I can't do that fine. Then you should spend that portion on that. I will just buy what I want to eat for 3 days and not eat for the other 2 days. I would spend $60 in 3 days and be fine and be like, you know what? I'll eat bread for the 2 days and water, or not eat nothing.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing to eat.
It's an example. I'll eat something. I'll eat waffles. I'll eat waffles. There's waffles here. Can I say waffles? There's waffles. I'll eat the waffles like I just had this today. I had 4 waffles for breakfast on some agave, and I'm good. I don't need nothing. You don't even want. There's waffles right there. You don't want to eat them.
Because there's some.
But that's what I'm explaining to you. Our philosophy is different. So you're applying how you look at it to how I look at it. For me, there's food in the house. I will eat the waffles. You like, nah, there's nothing here to eat. I gotta buy something. I gotta get something to eat. Do you see that? How you're like trying to apply it to me, and I'm like, I don't operate like that. What, babe?
I feel like you would just be like, nah, I don't want nothing from the vending machine if you don't operate like that. But you be getting stuff from the vending machine, so that leads me to believe that you want to. Yes,
I do want it, but I will not eat it. But I will not eat it. But you're not hearing what I just said. You're not hearing what I just said. I know the vending machine is there. I will just not eat it.
Then why are you saying yes when I ask if you want?
Because I want it, and if you are getting it,
then that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, if I'm gonna get something for myself and I know that you want to eat too, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out a solution that would benefit both of us. Right? Yes. So that you can get what you want as well, because we don't have to deprive ourselves if we plan for it properly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so this would be the best. Okay, how about this? In the beginning of the week, we didn't have enough money for that either, but X amount of dollars you want to spend on this, I have X amount of dollars to spend on that.
What does that mean? So
if the week budget for food is $80, you have $80, I have $80. That way you can buy whatever you want. Because I felt, like I said, I think the solution we had before was that you would spend the money that you want on ramen, and you would save, and you would buy the hot water thing. You would bring it to the turnstile. You would make your food there. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I'll just spend my money on food. And the days that I don't have money to spend on food no more, I will just not eat. Or maybe I'll get like something really cheap that day.
I don't know about that.
You don't know about what?
About the hot water thing.
Why?
Because I still have to figure out how I would go about doing it. How I'm going to empty it. If I'm going to leave it there. That was just an idea that I came up with. It's not something that's like finalized.
What do you hear me say?
Or are you just saying that like as an example?
I'm saying that's what we talked about. I'm saying that was the idea, that you would come up with a way for you that you feel comfortable eating, and I have my way I feel comfortable eating. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
I ain't making a face.
Because you're making a face.
Because I know you still want to eat the food.
I told you I want to eat the food.
Right. So that's why it's just like...
But I want to do a lot of things that I don't do. Like I said, I operate better if the people around me, I've learned this, are not doing things that I want to do. Like, especially on long-term basis. That's what I've realized.
What is that?
Like, I'm pretty sure if I'm around somebody that's drinking all the time, every day, I'm probably going to drink more than I would if I was not around the person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bad influence on eating. Is that?
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Sorry that you want to eat, that I want to eat food and not be hungry.
Okay, I accept your apology. But sure. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking like that. You saying, oh, I can't move, I'm dying, I can't eat, Donovan, oh my God. I'm like, we got waffles, they're soggy, I can't eat soggy waffles. And it's like,
that's not even true. I've been eating the food in the house.
You just said you could eat the soggy waffles, and you sit over here dying in a chair.
Yes, because they're left out on the counter.
There's waffles in the freezer, Melissa.
We're doing a podcast. I can't.
Right. What you?
Right now anyway.
So then what are you saying? What? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Okay. I'm gonna go open the freezer, make all the noise with the waffle bag, and put it.
How is different than the one on? How is that different than the one on the counter?
It'll be cool.
Your problem is that it's soggy.
Yes.
So get ones that are not soggy. You still have to open the bag to get the waffles out of there.
There's a lot of problems with eating waffles right now. There's a lot of problems, and that's why I'm not eating.
So what you gonna eat now, anyways? Nothing.
I'm trying to figure it out. You asked me.
Cause you said, but you how you gonna eat any food right now without making any noise during the podcast?
Exactly.
So then, what are you talking about? There's no food you can eat then.
Yes, as I'm waiting for the podcast to finish to eat.
But your argument was the reason I'm not eating the waffles because they soggy.
Yes.
That's not the reason. It's because you don't want waffles. I don't even know why we even pretending like that's not the reason. You don't want to eat waffles. That's it. You don't want waffles, right?
Soggy.
Okay, we have unsoggy waffles.
I can't cook them right now.
See? Exactly. You don't want waffles.
It's not.
It is. It is, Melissa, and it's fine. I know how you are with food, so it's fine. I'm just saying that is what is happening. Regardless of that. All right, so the last topic of the podcast is Vlogmas. We're doing Vlogmas again. We're bringing it back. We are bringing Vlogmas back. No, I'm playing. We're not doing that. We're not bringing Vlogmas back.
I don't think this. Curse you out.
Listen, y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know I love all of y'all. But people have been hitting me up and they wish we were still doing Vlogmas, which I understand. And trust me, I love doing Vlogmas. Like, I enjoyed watching the videos as much as you guys. Like, every day before y'all watched it, Melissa and I sat down and watched the whole video, and then it would go live. So more or less the same day y'all would see it, I would see it. Cause Melissa I would see it when she's done editing it, and vice versa. When I edit it, she would see it after I'm done, and we would sit down and watch it. It was fun. Some of the videos I was like entertaining, especially the MLM one. I thought that was funny. And I enjoy recording it. So we're actually thinking about some type of middle ground to some degree. Probably not on this page, but it's still a work in progress. We'll probably talk about it more during the New Year live. Do you see what I'm talking about? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Melissa just sulked into the chair as if she's about to die. Made her face, started pouting, and just get a picture of you, because obviously they need to know this. Melissa? What is wrong with you?
I hate it here.
Oh my God! What are you even trying to eat?
Something.
There's waffles over there.
Do you know how dusty that is? Dog, I It's just like there's no eggs, there's no meat.
You don't need that.
Sustenance. It's
You just need waffles and agave and some water. I don't know what kind of life you was brought up in, but listen.
The one thing that my mom always made sure that we had was food.
We have food. There's waffles right there. There's waffles right there on the counter. Melissa is dying. We haven't gone grocery shopping in like, what has it been, like 2 weeks?
It's been a long time.
And we still surviving. Look how much food.
Am I?
You're not dead.
My period started 4 days.
Whoo!
Bleed out.
Whoo!
I ain't got no.
Listen, you might not even get no blood.
Nothing.
You might not get nothing will come out because you don't have no food inside you. It's gonna be stuck inside. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, vlogmas. So what I said last week that we're gonna have a separate channel. We're definitely gonna do a candle channel. We're gonna launch it on the new year. And it probably won't be a video that goes up that day, but we're considering doing weekly vlogs on the candle channel because we're going to be focused on mostly candles. So that's going to be up on there. And we know what YouTube likes. YouTube likes channels that are specific to one thing that you do, and that's it. People that watch videos like to see, hey, you are a real estate channel? Let's see real estate. You're a Turo channel? Let's see Turo. You're a wholesale channel? Let's see wholesaling. And let's see more videos that's more about wholesaling. What's the market saying? What's the new rules and laws? And right? So we don't really operate like that, or have not been operating like that. But the candle page will be more of that, because what we've seen is what we've seen before multiple times, is that there's a gap that we will be able to fill. It happened with wholesaling. It happened with not really Airbnb as much. It happened with Turo. And I think that in those two gaps, there's a candle gap. I don't really see a lot of people talking about candles from the finance side. A lot of candle companies, at least the ones on YouTube, don't make a lot of money. They don't really have business strategies. They don't really post that much. So a lot of the channel is that channel is gonna just be candle stuff. So we're gonna be doing the vlogs that we're not doing now will kind of be then. And we were thinking about doing, like, we would vlog every day. So like, let's say from the 1st to the 7th, right? And then what we would do is we would post that video on the 14th. So yeah, that would be the weekly vlog. And then after that, obviously, y'all will get a vlog every single week. We will be back here. You were dying, Melissa. I didn't want you to die and spontaneously combust into dust. So we'll be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend who is starving to death, AnetaBurn, AnetaBurn. All right. And with that being said, listen, this is the last. It got one more podcast before the end of the year. Okay, one more, and then we're doing a live after that. You know what it is. #BambooProject 2022. And with that being said, honestly, I don't want to do a Bamboo Project. I don't want to do the live one on Sunday, because that's when the podcast comes out. I feel like that's not a good idea. Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure that out, because I feel like that. I guess I don't know. I guess I remember. I was gonna drop the podcast earlier that week, and then I was gonna drop it on like Friday or something that week, and then okay. Bamboo Project